What if the moon isn't just a celestial body to admire from afar, but a thriving economy of its own? Indeed, the moon, our closest neighbor in the cosmos, has once again become a focal point of human curiosity and ambition. In recent years, we've seen a renewed global interest in lunar exploration, a resurgence akin to the excitement of the space race era. But this time, the stakes are much higher, the plans are more grandeur, and the implications for our home planet, Earth, are enormous. The 21st century moon rush is not merely about planting flags or leaving footprints, it's about establishing a sustainable human presence, about fostering scientific discovery, and most intriguingly, about unlocking the potential of a lunar economy. Imagine an economy beyond Earth, where the moon's vast resources are harnessed for technological advancements, where lunar bases serve not only as research outposts but also as hubs for commercial activities. This isn't science fiction anymore, it's a future within our grasp. The moon's south pole, rich in water ice, could provide life-sustaining resources and fuel for deep space missions. Its regolith, or lunar soil, could be used for building materials. And its rare isotope, helium-3, could potentially be a source of clean energy. The possibilities are as endless as they are fascinating. But a lunar economy isn't just about resource extraction, it's about creating new markets, spurring technological innovation, and stimulating economic growth back on Earth. Companies could offer lunar tourism, mining services, even lunar advertising. And with the involvement of private sectors like SpaceX and Blue Origin, the cost of reaching the moon could significantly decrease, making lunar ventures more feasible and attractive. However, turning these prospects into reality isn't without challenges. It requires international cooperation, advances in technology, substantial investments, and a delicate balance between economic interests and the preservation of the lunar environment. But as we stand on the cusp of a new era of space exploration, the moon beckons us not just for the sake of exploration, but for the promise of a whole new economy. The race is on, not for another moon landing, but for establishing a permanent presence. The spotlight is now on the moon's south pole, a region of immense interest due to its potential resources. Both the United States and China have set their sights on this location with plans to establish permanent lunar bases. The United States NASA has launched the ambitious Artemis program, aiming to land astronauts on the lunar surface by 2024. But Artemis's goals extend far beyond just another moon landing. The program intends to establish sustainable human presence on the moon, opening the door to long-term lunar exploration and setting the stage for the next giant leap: human missions to Mars. China, on the other hand, is also looking to make its mark on the lunar landscape. Its Chang'e program is a series of robotic moon missions by the China National Space Administration. The program includes plans for a lunar research station in the South Pole region, further emphasizing the significance of this area. Now, you might be wondering, why is there so much focus on the moon when Mars seems to be the ultimate goal? Well, the answer is simple. The moon serves as a crucial stepping stone to Mars. It provides an opportunity to test technologies and systems for long-duration spaceflight without venturing too far from home. This includes everything from life support systems to habitat modules and rovers. Moreover, the moon's resources can be used to simulate Mars missions. For example, the lunar regolith, or moon dust, has similar properties to Martian soil. This allows scientists to test strategies for using local resources on Mars, a concept known as in situ resource utilization. In essence, the race for permanent lunar bases is not just about the moon, it's about preparing for a future where humans can venture further into the cosmos, to Mars and beyond. The moon, once a distant dream, is now a stepping stone for further cosmic conquests. In this new space race, governments are not the only players. Private companies have taken a front seat in lunar exploration, marking a paradigm shift in the way we venture beyond our planet. Take SpaceX and Blue Origin, for instance. These powerhouses of the private sector have been instrumental in developing lunar landers and transportation services. They've revolutionized the way we access the moon, and it's not just about the thrill of exploration, but also about the potential economic benefits. SpaceX's Starship, designed for missions to the moon and beyond, is poised to become a workhorse for lunar transportation. Similarly, Blue Origin's Blue Moon lander is being developed to deliver a wide range of payloads to the lunar surface. By leveraging reusable technologies, these companies are not only making space more accessible, but are also dramatically reducing the cost of lunar missions. But the involvement of private companies in lunar exploration doesn't stop at transportation. The moon, with its untapped resources and strategic location, presents an array of commercial opportunities. Consider space tourism. The moon, our closest celestial neighbor, is the perfect destination for the ultimate vacation. Companies like SpaceX have already unveiled plans to send private citizens around the moon, marking the beginning of a new era of lunar tourism. Then there's lunar mining. The moon is believed to house an abundance of resources, including precious metals and helium-3, a potential fuel for nuclear fusion. Companies are eyeing these resources, betting on the emergence of a lunar mining industry. Scientific research is another area where private companies can make their mark. From studying lunar geology to setting up lunar observatories, there's no shortage of research opportunities that could lead to breakthroughs in our understanding of the universe. The moon is no longer just a government project, it's open for business. Indeed, the involvement of private companies is transforming lunar exploration from a purely scientific endeavor into a potentially lucrative commercial venture. With the moon's untapped potential and the entrepreneurial spirit of these companies, we're witnessing the dawn of a new lunar economy. To create an economy, you need infrastructure. Now, this is as true on the moon as it is on Earth. For the lunar economy to take flight, we need to put in place robust infrastructure to support commercial activities. And various organizations are already on the task. Take the European Space Agency's Moonlight program, for instance. This ambitious initiative aims to provide critical communication and navigation services for lunar missions. Imagine it as the GPS of the moon. Without reliable ways to communicate or navigate, any lunar activity, whether it's scientific exploration or commercial mining, becomes incredibly risky. Moonlight will pave the way for safer and more efficient operations on the moon's surface, but communication and navigation are just part of the picture. We also need to make significant technological advancements in other areas to truly lay the foundations of a lunar economy. Life support systems, for one, need a major upgrade. We need systems that can recycle air and water with near-perfect efficiency to sustain human life for extended periods on the lunar surface. Then there's the question of energy. The moon's 2-week-long nights make solar power a less reliable option. So we're looking at other solutions like nuclear power or even fuel cells to keep the lights on in our future lunar bases. However, the real game changer might be in situ resource utilization, or ISRU. This is the practice of using local resources for our needs, like turning lunar soil into building materials or mining water ice for drinking and rocket fuel. Mastering ISRU would significantly reduce the cost and complexity of lunar missions, making the moon a more accessible and attractive destination for businesses. So you see, creating a lunar economy is not just a matter of planting flags and footprints. It's about building a robust, sustainable infrastructure that can support a wide range of activities, from scientific research to commercial mining and, who knows, maybe even lunar tourism. Building the lunar economy isn't just about landing on the moon, but creating a sustainable infrastructure to support it. The moon isn't just a rock in space, it's a treasure trove of resources. Imagine a place where there's so much unexplored and untapped wealth. That's our moon. It's home to an array of resources that could change our lives in the most profound ways. 3 of these resources have caught our attention: water ice, a regolith, and helium. 3. Now, you might be wondering, what's so special about these? Well, each has unique applications that could support life, habitation, and energy production. Let's start with water ice. Found primarily in the moon's polar regions, it's a precious commodity for space exploration. You see, we can break down water into hydrogen and oxygen. The oxygen can be used for life support, and the hydrogen can serve as rocket fuel. So, in essence, water ice could support a lunar base and fuel our journey further into the cosmos. Next, we have regolith, the moon's soil. It's not just dirt, but a potential building material. Using lunar regolith, we can construct habitats, shields against radiation, and even landing pads for spacecraft. This could drastically reduce the cost of lunar exploration, as we wouldn't need to ferry everything from Earth. Lastly, there's helium-3. This isotope is rare on Earth but abundant on the moon. It has the potential to power fusion reactors, providing a clean and nearly limitless source of energy. Though we're still perfecting fusion technology, helium-3 could be the key to solving our energy needs in the future. However, Extracting these resources is not without challenges. We need advanced technologies and significant investments, but the potential rewards are immense. Not only could these resources support a self-sustaining lunar base, but they could also fuel a burgeoning lunar economy. So, as we gaze at the moon, let's not just see a celestial object, let's see a new frontier filled with resources that could change our lives, power our homes, and propel us further into the cosmos. The moon's resources are the key to unlocking its economic potential. But can a lunar economy really work? This is the million, or perhaps more accurately, the billion-dollar question. To begin with, let's consider the potential for a self-sustaining commercial economy on the moon. It's not as far-fetched as it may sound. The moon's resources, such as water ice, regolith, and helium-3, could be used to support life, build habitats, and produce energy. Mining these resources, rather than transporting everything from Earth, could drastically reduce the costs of lunar operations. Private companies are already showing interest in lunar exploration and exploitation. For instance, SpaceX and Blue Origin are developing lunar landers and transportation services, while others are exploring the commercial opportunities in space tourism and scientific research. However, even with these advancements, the lunar economy will likely rely heavily on government contracts for the foreseeable future. Until at least the year 2040, public funding is expected to be the primary driver of lunar activities. But, as the lunar infrastructure develops and the costs of accessing the moon decrease, the balance could gradually shift towards a more commercial economy. So what does this mean for us on Earth? Well, the development of a lunar economy could have significant economic impacts. Firstly, it could lead to job creation, both directly in the space sector and indirectly in related industries. Secondly, the technological spillovers from space exploration and exploitation could stimulate innovation and economic growth. And finally, the moon could open up new markets and business opportunities, from lunar real estate to advertising in lunar broadcasts. However, it's important to remember that the establishment of a lunar economy is not guaranteed. It faces numerous challenges, including high costs, technical uncertainties, and potential conflicts over lunar resources. But with international cooperation and responsible stewardship, we could overcome these obstacles and usher in a new era of lunar exploration and economic development. The moon could be more than just a satellite, it could be a new economic hub. And who knows, maybe one day, we'll all have a little piece of the moon in our pockets. A lunar economy is not just about economics, it's also about geopolitics. As we venture further into the cosmos, we must consider the potential conflicts that could arise between nations. With the US and China leading the race to establish permanent lunar bases, we're seeing the emergence of a new kind of rivalry, this time in space. This rivalry could potentially lead to disputes over lunar resources, particularly at the moon's south pole, which is a prime target due to its abundance of water ice. However, it's crucial to remember that the moon is not owned by any one nation. It belongs to all of humanity. The peaceful sharing of lunar resources is therefore of utmost importance. This isn't just about preventing conflict. It's about ensuring that everyone can benefit from the moon's resources. It's about making sure that the moon doesn't become another arena for geopolitical power plays, but rather a symbol of unity and cooperation. Yet, despite these potential conflicts, the prospect of a lunar economy also brings with it a unique opportunity for international collaboration. Establishing a sustainable lunar presence is a monumental task, one that no single nation can accomplish on its own. It requires the collective efforts of countries around the world, each contributing their unique skills and resources. Overcoming geopolitical tensions will be key to this endeavor. We've seen examples of this in the past, such as the International Space Station, which has been a beacon of international cooperation in space for over 2 decades. The moon could be the next such project, bringing nations together in pursuit of a common goal. In the face of global challenges from climate change to pandemics, international cooperation is more important than ever. The moon presents us with a chance to foster this cooperation, to set aside our differences and work together for the betterment of all. As we embark on this grand adventure, let's remember that the moon is not just a piece of rock in the sky, it's a symbol of our shared humanity, a testament to our ability to dream, to explore, and to achieve the impossible. The moon could be the next frontier of international cooperation. Who owns the moon? Who can mine its resources? These are not just philosophical questions, but legal ones that have gained importance with the renewed interest in lunar exploration and potential lunar economy. The 1967 Outer Space Treaty, signed by over 100 nations including the United States, Russia, and China, lays the groundwork for lunar law. It declares that no nation can claim sovereignty over the moon, effectively making it the common heritage of mankind. This treaty also prohibits any military activities on the moon, turning it into a demilitarized zone. But what about mining or extracting the moon's resources? The Outer Space Treaty is silent on this aspect. But the 1979 Moon Agreement, which expands on the treaty, suggests that any resources extracted from the moon should benefit all of humanity. However, only a handful of nations have ratified this agreement, and none of them are currently engaged in lunar missions. In the United States, the 2015 U.S. Commercial Space Launch Competitiveness Act allows American citizens and corporations to possess, own, transport, use, and sell any resources they extract from celestial bodies. This act, however, does not grant them property rights over the land from which the resources are extracted. As for environmental protection, the Outer Space Treaty requires nations to avoid harmful contamination of the moon and other celestial bodies. This has been interpreted to include both biological contamination, such as microbes from Earth, and physical contamination, like litter or pollutants. But again, the specifics are left open to interpretation. As we venture further into the realm of lunar economics, we're also venturing into new territories of law and regulation. New frameworks will need to be established to balance the interests of various nations and private entities, ensure fair access to lunar resources, and protect the lunar environment. In essence, we're not just exploring a new frontier in space, but also a new frontier in law. It's an exciting, complex challenge that will require international cooperation, innovative thinking, and a shared commitment to responsible stewardship of our celestial neighbor. As we venture into lunar economics, we're also venturing into new territories of law and regulation. Establishing a lunar economy won't be easy. That's the bare truth. The dream of creating a self-sustaining economy on the moon is fraught with challenges and risks, some of which we'll delve into now. First up, let's talk money. The costs of lunar exploration and development are astronomical, pun intended. The technical uncertainties add another layer of complexity. Developing the necessary technology for lunar habitation, resource extraction, and transportation services is not only costly but also filled with unknowns. The harsh lunar environment poses significant technical challenges, and the solutions are often not straightforward. Next, we must confront the potential for conflict and geopolitical tensions. Space exploration has often been a stage for national rivalries, and the moon is no exception. As nations and private companies race to stake their claim on the moon and its resources, there's a risk of sparking conflicts that could have far-reaching consequences. This makes it crucial to establish clear, internationally agreed-upon regulations to ensure peaceful and cooperative lunar activities. Finally, there's the delicate balance between economic interests and scientific and environmental concerns. The moon is not just a potential source of wealth, it's also a treasure trove of scientific knowledge. Its pristine environment offers unique insights into the early history of our solar system. However, unregulated economic activities could disrupt this environment and compromise its scientific value. Also, there's a moral and ethical obligation to preserve the moon for future generations. This calls for responsible stewardship and a careful consideration of the environmental impact of lunar activities. In summary, the establishment of a lunar economy will require overcoming significant hurdles. It will demand financial investments, technical innovations, diplomacy, and an unwavering commitment to scientific integrity and environmental preservation. The moon offers great promise, but also great challenges. The road ahead is long and hard, but the potential rewards could change the course of human history. As we look to the future, the moon's potential is limitless. The next steps in lunar exploration and economic development are set to revolutionize the way we perceive our celestial neighbor. No longer just a distant body in the night sky, the moon is becoming the next frontier for scientific discovery, technological innovation, and economic opportunity. We're on the cusp of a new era where permanent lunar bases will serve as hubs for research, mining, and even tourism. With the continuous advancements from both government entities and private companies, we're inching closer to a self-sustaining lunar economy. This isn't just about the moon, it's about the future of humanity itself. The technologies and systems developed for living on the moon could help us tackle challenges here on Earth, from renewable energy to resource management. The potential long-term benefits of a lunar economy are immense. Imagine a future where lunar resources fuel our economies, where lunar research sparks scientific breakthroughs, and where the moon serves as a stepping stone to the rest of the solar system. This isn't just science fiction, it's a future we're actively building, but this future isn't without its challenges. The moon isn't just a resource to be exploited, it's a shared heritage that belongs to all of humanity. It's crucial that, as we step into this new era, we do so responsibly. We must ensure that lunar activities are sustainable, respectful, and beneficial to all. International cooperation will be key to this endeavor. The moon isn't the domain of any one nation or corporation. It's a shared space, a common ground. As we move forward, we must foster a spirit of collaboration and shared stewardship. We must work together to navigate the challenges ahead and ensure that the benefits of lunar exploration and development are shared by all. The moon, once a distant dream, is now within our reach. And with it, a new era of lunar economics beckons. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to keep up with our journey to the moon.